Hi, my name is Wojahn, and this is my persuasion speech. We've all seen the games, the ones where the first-person shooter can pick the deadly weapon of their choice and have the satisfaction of winning once all their opponents have been killed. This is something that's been going on for years and have concerned parents as they believe that these games could translate into real-world acts of violence. Whether that's to overcome bullying, stress, or even a breakup, parents are concerned that this could be the reason for everything from school shootings to fistfights to coming home late and not knowing where they've been. So this has been going on for quite a while. It's not a new argument, and you may already have your stance on what you believe. Ever since video games have moved from putting blocks into a screen to shooting other people online, people have started talking about what this means on people's brains, especially the brains of people who are younger and their brains are still developing. What does this mean for them? Does this mean that they're more violent as a person? And I wanted to do my research online to see what I believed. And I came across an article written by CNN in 2019 that was evaluating another article written by the American Psychological Association that was written in 2015. And this report wanted to claim that a violent video game had a consistent relation between increases in aggressive behavior, aggressive cognitions, and aggressive affect. However, CNN, an often anti-gun or anti-violence news site, actually argued that they didn't have sufficient evidence and wasn't backed by modern research. In fact, the American Psychological Association later had to come forward and say that they knew they didn't have sufficient evidence to make this claim, and yet they made it anyway. So this kind of shows that a lot of people are trying to give parents what they want and say, oh yeah, this is definitely not good, but what's the real problem here? In fact, video games are showing that maybe it's a way for them to display violence out of the real world, contrary to popular belief, and that the aggressive behaviors that come from people who play video games may have nothing to do with the video games at all. In fact, we may be blaming an extremely complicated problem and giving it an easy solution. People who play video games are not immune from violent acts, just like people who don't play video games still are violent, if that makes sense. Researchers do not link video games, but a third factor comes in play quite a bit. For example, on average, more boys play video games than girls, and alongside that, boys tend to be more aggressive than girls. Another fact that you could look at is that studies have shown that kids who have supportive, proactive families are much less likely to display aggressive behavior compared to the kids who use video games as an escape from their bad families and then use their own violent behaviors to feel in control. In a video game, you feel in control because you're holding the weapon and you're able to kill people. But when you have a family who's supportive and loving and is proactive with you in your life, this kind of behavior just doesn't show up. All in all, we can't put the blame of a complicated family situation onto a video game. It really comes down to parenting and the family and the housing, where they live, their friends, maybe if they're abusing substances. It really comes down to that. Video games really have nothing to do with it at all. In fact, video games can be quite stimulating for the brain, even if they are shooting people. If you are a parent, a sibling, an aunt or uncle, or even a friend, it's really, really important to know how you treat people, ensuring we are being kind, supportive, and don't feel the need to be aggressive, and don't make other people feel the need to be aggressive. Thanks.